Hi, Capricorn. So we have the 3 of Gabriel. We have the 2 of Raphael right next to each other, and we have the 7 of Michael. And I see with the 7 of Gabriel, I feel like going into 2017, Capricorn, you have this sense of wanting to move forward, but you're not quite sure yet. So you're taking your time, you're making a plan, and you're going to get going. And I think you're working with someone here, either a spouse or a partner. You're very connected to one another, and you want to be on the same page, and together you are planning this. And if you're not with a partner, or you're not with someone, if you're not actually working with someone, it's indicating for you to continue the work you're doing, because you're going to be working with kindred spirits, people who are on the same page as you. And that's why you're being asked to make this plan, because you want that, right? It may not have manifested yet, but it's something you deeply want. Exactly, because this, the text of this card is working alone may not be the best answer, and I do feel like this is something you really do want. If you haven't got it yet, it's something you deeply desire. You really want to work with someone. You feel like you're doing your best work when you're in partnership with someone, or at least being appreciated by someone, as if you have that back and forth. You don't want to just feel like you're going it alone. Either way, I feel like this connection that you have here with another, or this desire to connect with a kindred spirit, or a partner, or even a love partnership, it has you at this place where you're like, okay, which way do I go? Have I created the right plan? You are an earth sign. You like things to be very things kind of set in stone. You don't want to play up here necessarily in this idea of ideas. You want to plan. You're a doer. You want to get things done. But with this trust card under the deck, you're being asked to allow for a little bit of ambiguity during this time period, Capricorn. Not everything's always laid out perfectly for you. And if you can trust your intuition more, if you can open up more to your guidance system, it will give you a sense of relief. And that when you do face this fork in the road, so to speak, you will be able to take action upon the path that you feel most guided toward, because you're perceiving it with your third eye, as opposed to trying to figure it out with your brain. Is how that feels for me. All right, so let's talk about these cards. We have the Let Go, we have the Flowers card, and we have the Teaching card right here. Let me just take these energies in again for you. I do just want to say, because I just was aware that we have the 3 of Ariel under the deck as well. And so we have 2 3s right here, which is lovely Ascended Master energy for you. So if there is an Ascended Master who you feel most connected to, you can pray to that Ascended Master for guidance during this time period. But as I feel this card for you as an underlying card, underlying energy for you, Capricorn, it really is about you kind of tinkering right now during this time period. A lot, because this is about making a plan, fork in the road, connecting with someone, the desire to connect with someone. And this is about kind of tinkering, like don't worry so much about getting it perfect right now. Tinker, play a little bit, have a little bit of play. A little bit of play allows for more elasticity, as opposed to trying to force like the square peg in the round hole kind of energy. Just, do what you love, do what's fun for you, tinker, play with your hobbies. Consider, when you're playing with your hobbies, you're working with your hobbies, it frees up your, the right side of your brain, the creative side of your brain, and it frees that up. And so then you can kind of become more in touch with your creative side and your intuition, as opposed to constantly coming from the left side of the brain, like, oh, I have to do this and this plan. This is the plan. I made this plan 2 years ago, and gosh, dang it, I'm going to stick to this plan. Meanwhile, you're not the same person you were 2 years ago, and you're not taking that into account. That kind of energy. So just play a little bit, tinker a little bit, allow yourself a little bit of play, Capricorn. Capricorns are such hardworking people. Again, this is Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And you're very hardworking, and so just allow yourself a little time to play, allow for a little ambiguity, have faith, have trust. Everything's working out exactly as it's meant to, and all is going to be well. And I think this is kind of what this is about. Like, let go a little bit, Capricorn. It's okay. Things are going to be fine. Walk away from the situation in order to resolve it. And I feel like, and again, we have this sense of movement too with the ship here. It's like, there's a sense of movement, letting go, movement, making a plan. So whatever has occurred recently, you are in a new place. You're in the process of being in a new place, let's say. And it's important, when you let go, it's not about like turning your back on something and deciding, putting blinders on, like, okay, I'm never going to look at that again. It's about more of an allowance, like, okay, that happened the way it happened. I'm just going to let it go, right? Just allow it to be as it was without the self-judgment that it should have been different, or they should have been different, or I should have been different, or I should have earned more or done more. It's not about that. It's about just kind of submitting to the laws of the universe. Like, there's only so much you can do in life, and then you have to just kind of let go. And this is kind of what you're being asked to do. This idea of movement, forward movement by allowing as opposed to letting go and being aggressive about things. And even this flowers card is very soft. And for some of you, it will indicate working with flowers, or you feel a sense of purpose when you are in the garden, or you're working with flowers or flower essences or this kind of thing. You have a strong draw to that, possibly as an earth sign, you like to work in the earth. You like to work with your hands and be practical like that. And whatever that is, it opens you up to your sense of purpose in the world. And remember, Capricorn, I know you know this already, but your purpose in life isn't found out there somewhere. Your purpose is found within. It's revealed from within in each and every moment that you can draw some consciousness around what you are doing and what gives you joy and pleasure in the moment. And you connect to that more and more, and you feel that sense of purpose with almost like each and every interaction you have with someone, and they feel it within you, and then it begins to grow because you feel this sense of familiarity with it because you're connecting to it more consciously. Just want to say that. And then we have this teaching here in the future position, kind of, and it's kind of an interesting energy for you because we have it right under the fork in the road. And so for some of you, it may be that you have never taught before. You never even really considered yourself as a teacher. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and become a teacher, go to school and get your master's in teaching. But it's about the way that you affect others is how I feel it. And beginning to understand more and more that you have skills and gifts and wisdom that perhaps you haven't brought into your sense of purpose or even your career. And there's a lot for you to offer here. And that may be what the fork in the road is about. Like maybe you've always been someone who earned money. You wanted to earn the money. You had to earn the money. And now you're kind of thinking, I have other gifts. And traditionally, teachers haven't really been paid as well as like business people. And maybe that's kind of, being an earth sign, you kind of like to have things, really, really solid and secure for yourself. But remember, the trust card is here for a reason. So if this resonates with you, it won't resonate with all of you. But for some of you, it may resonate very strongly. And remember, you're being guided there, and that you are transforming. And that's part of the reason you're considering this in a lot of different ways. And it may not be that you are teaching as part of your work, but that you are just a natural teacher. And this card is encouraging you, Capricorn, to share what you've learned so far. So as I've already mentioned, being an earth sign, you really want to feel stable and secure in the world. And especially regarding your finances, this would make sense that you would incarnate as an earth sign here with this food and hunger, because it's very much on your mind how to be practical, how to feed your family, how to make sure that you are safe and secure. It's really, really interesting energy here. Let me just take it in. Again, with the flowers, working with the earth, wanting to provide for people, being a farmer in some ways, even. So this is first chakra type of energy, food and hunger. Like you are not going to feel safe and secure really unless you have food in the fridge, unless you have a means of feeding your family. And so this has really had a powerful effect on the way that you create income. For some of you, it may be that you are not able to make a lot of money because there's a bit of I want to say, what's the word? Anxiety about it. Like, because whenever we're trying to manifest something, when we are already feeling anxious about it, it makes it harder to manifest it. And so if if there's a sense of panic, like, oh my God, we're not going to be able to feed my family. I'm not going to be able to feed my family. It may be that paradigm may be coming in from this past life experience. And so you can begin to play with it. And you can remind yourself, I am the first provider of you, Capricorn. Put your fingertips to your heart chakra and your mind, to get yourself out of your mind, which is what you use, and bring you back to your heart, which is who you are, and that you are safe, secure, always. And you remind yourself, I love you, Capricorn. I love and provide for you. I love and support you abundantly in all areas of your life, including food and shelter. These first chakra issues are very much at play here, and this makes a lot of sense. So, and it could go the reverse too, like you overcompensate. You're all about making the money at the sacrifice of your own personal sense of joy and happiness and that kind of thing. So you play with this a little bit and think about this. And if it resonates with you, if you like this kind of way to look at energy, because, for me, it makes a lot of sense, but it may not for everybody. But it's something to think about in the ways in which that if you could even play with it just in terms of your imagination, Capricorn. Like if indeed I lived a life where I had to, worry about food and I was constantly hungry, how might that affect me now in this day and age in the 21st century in the types of jobs I take and in the way that I work? Am I working myself to the bone even though there's plenty of money in the bank? It may be because you're being influenced by this karma where you were constantly hungry or constantly in search of food. So it's something to think about. It's going to play out differently for everybody. So I hope you find that interesting and fun and helpful in some way, Capricorn. It was a pleasure to do a reading for you. I wish you much love, and I will see you on the next video or at your private reading. Till then.